Welcome everyone to the 2015 myAFibRisk.com 400 at Chicagoland Race Review. I recap what went on before the race, during the race, and after the race. So overall, thoughts on the race that, as of me recording this, it finished a couple hours ago. Personally, I think that this was, like, the racing, I think itself was good, but the thing is, like, if you add in pretty much everything, mixed emotions, and a lot of mixed emotions. This race had its good, the bad, and the ugly, and so much more. And, like, really, it's kind of, like, I don't know if this is really going to be a race where people are going to be, like, talking a lot about. But to me, I think, like, there are definitely some interesting takeaways from this race, or several interesting takeaways. And to me, I guess if I'm going to talk about the racing, I think, to me, that was one of the good highlights of this race. Is it to me even under a 2015 rules package, I still think the racing was pretty good or solid. And I think one of the reasons why it is just simply because Chicagoland, it has a worn out surface. It was completed in 2001 and has since then not been repaved. And so the surface, it's old, it's bumpy, it's worn out. It really wears out the tires. And overall, like you can put your car anywhere. You can go low, you can go high, you can go in the middle. And so to me, I think that creates some good racing. And to me, like, especially early on, there was some good racing. And the thing is, also, when you have, like, a bumpy, worn out surface, I guess you could say that aero isn't as much of a factor. So overall, I think, like, Chicagoland, I think if you asked me maybe back in, like, 2008, like, my thoughts on Chicagoland, I think I would have described it as a pretty, like, boring racetrack. But over the past few years, that really has changed, like, a lot. And so overall, next season, where it is expected that we're going to use the low downforce package for 2016, who knows? The racing at Chicagoland next season might be even better. But overall, I guess now I'll get into, like, pre-race information. Then talk about what went on during the race, like some of, like, the major highlights after the race, and so on. So overall, as I bring up my notes, you can't see them. But anyway, this was the first race in the chase. And the thing is, like, before the race started, and pretty much all the days leading up to this race, there was just simply, I just kept on saying to myself, like, this is going to get interesting. And actually, that's what I actually have first on my notes. First race of the chase, and first and only stop at Chicagoland for this pickup series, and some notable penalties. NASCAR docks 30 minutes from the 2013 driven by Jet Burden, and usually it's 15 minutes, but they failed pre-race qualifying inspection twice. 15 minutes were docked from Yaley, Bowman, and McDowell. And overall, one of the biggest topics of conversation between Chicagoland and Richmond last week was just simply the whole, like, restarts. Restarts were once again a topic. Drivers still want NASCAR to be more consistent. And the thing is, like, actually, I think it was either on Friday or Saturday, NASCAR said that they put a camera near the starting box. Now, to me, I don't know how that's going to really. I don't know, like, how that's going to maybe, like, improve things, but okay. And once again, restarts were definitely a topic of conversation a couple of times in this race. And also, like, but anyway, moving on to other news. After making his first career start last week at Richmond, Jeffrey Earnhardt is going to be competing Rookie for the Year, competing in all but 4 races in 2016. The other 4 races are going to be at the restricted play tracks, and those races are going to be driven by Bobby Labonte, and so overall, I think that this is good for Jeffrey Earnhardt. Obviously, like Go Fast Racing, nowhere near top tier equipment in my opinion, but overall, I think it's just simply going to be good for him. Just simply for the fact of experience, and who knows, if he does something similar to say like J.J. Yeley does, like this season where Yeley is, I believe, competing full time in Cup and Xfinity. I think racing. I think getting experience in the Cup car. I think is actually could. I think it could help you race better in the Xfinity series. So overall, I hope things go good for Jeffrey Earnhardt, and I hope that next season, for the 4 races that Bobby Labonte is in, Bobby Labonte he's approaching. I think he's approaching the end of his career, and overall, I think he's going to compete. He's going to be racing at Talladega, in Talladega later this season, which isn't going to be too far away, and I hope that possibly with an unknown amount of races left in Bobby Labonte's career, I hope that soon he can get a solid finish, to end off his career, which, like I said, I think the end of his career is not too far away. Also, the car is going to be sponsored by Can-Am, which is a new sponsor. And speaking of Can-Am, apparently next season they're not going to be called the Budweiser Duels. They're going to be called the Can-Am Duels, I believe. So overall, but Budweiser not only is it not going to be on a car, it's not going to be sponsoring the 2 events. Having Can-Am as a sponsor, I'm kind of maybe maybe I just simply didn't read into it hard enough. But to me, I kind of think it's kind of a interesting sponsor to sponsor the 2 duels. But anyway, so now also some other additional news. Jeff Gordon tied Ricky Rudd for the most consecutive starts at 788. Next week, Jeff Gordon is going to break that record, and that record is going to come to an end at I believe 797 or 798 starts, unless something happens to Jeff Gordon and he misses a race, which I don't think is going to happen. But overall, man, that is definitely quite a record to accomplish, which I actually did not know that. And to me, I believe a couple years ago, I was sort of just wondering to myself, has Jeff Gordon ever missed a race? But actually, he has never missed a sprint car race since he has started in the 1992 Hooters 500, or in other words, the 1992 season finale. So overall, very impressive, very impressive record that Jeff Gordon might be able to, he could possibly hold on to that record maybe forever. Who knows? I think it's definitely going to be quite some time before someone beats that record. Maybe that record is going to be broken by someone like Jimmy Johnson. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be broken by a driver that hasn't competed in NASCAR yet. But overall, congrats to Jeff Gordon and an entire team. But anyway, now moving on to the weekend. So Kevin Harvick was fastest on first practice, and this would pay off because eventually heavy rain would cancel qualifying, and this was on Friday. And so Harvick got the pole. Behind him, Logano, Keselowski, Truex, Austin Dillon, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and Matt Kenseth. And I think is the DNQs, Ryan Blaney, Travis Poppel, and Michael McDowell. And the unfortunate thing about Ryan Blaney is that he was actually ninth fastest in practice, and so overall, that was once again frustrating. So this is the third time this season that rain has screwed them out of competing in the race, which to me, I think I said this back at Daytona in Kentucky, but to me, I do wish they could change the rule to where if you're one of those drivers or teams that isn't locked in, if qualifying gets canceled, your starting position is determined by your speed, not by how many races you competed. Not by how many races you competed. Because to me, personally, like, I think it's kind of a little bit misleading to say, like, because to me, I think it's a little misleading to say, like, I think it's a little misleading to say, like, the 43 best drivers or the 43 fastest drivers will make the show when you have this. I believe sometimes, like, NASCAR or the media, like, advertises that, and to have him not make the show, but to have, like, drivers like Timmy Hill, who actually a couple times today was actually told, like, hey, pick up your speed. I just think it's just kind of like silly and kind of unnecessary. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, moving on to Saturday, Martin Truex Jr. He split both practice sessions, and so overall, Martin Truex Jr. But by this point, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, Martin Truex Jr. He's definitely going to be someone to watch out for. Definitely watch out for Kevin Harvick. It's me, even though like the organization as a whole wasn't as fast as they were in recent weeks. Definitely watch out for Gibbs. Keselowski, the winner last season, watch out for him as well. And who knows? Maybe this will be the week where Hendrick Motorsports gets back on track. So overall, a lot of contenders. I think there were a lot of contenders heading into Chicagoland, and like I said earlier, things are about to get interesting. And so overall, from the moment we got the green flag to about maybe like lap 30 or 40, there was some great racing up front between Truex Jr., Harvick, Austin Dillon. He was actually up in the mix, but once Kyle Busch got the lead, he was gone. Nobody was going to catch Kyle Busch. But before we get to that, caution number 1: AJ Allmendinger and Denny Hamlin make contact entering turn number 3. And both of them go around. And Hamlin actually chose not to come down the pit road, and instead came down 1 lap later, which actually put him 1 lap down. And so already trouble for a chaser. I think what happened was that, to me, like, Brian Scott tried to block Hamlin, so that forced Hamlin way down, almost to the apron. And at the same time, Hamlin was trying to get back on the racing surface, and Allmendinger was coming down and probably didn't see Hamlin. The two of them made contact. I think just simply a racing incident. Could it have been avoidable? Yes. But overall, it's just what happened. And like I said, once Kyle Busch got to the lead, he was just gone. And to me, by around lap 100, I said to myself, you know what? Unless Kyle Busch screws up, I think that this is his race to lose. But not so fast. We would have our second caution on lap 123, and actually, like, the restart, like, we restarted the race on lap number 7, and we got the caution on lap 123. Had the green flag run lasted a couple more laps, it actually would have tied and broken the longest green flag run ever in a Chicagoland race. So overall, very long green flag run, which I actually I sort of saw it coming, but at the same time, I was a little surprised. Caution number 2 was for debris on the backstretch, which they did actually show. Which, so to me, you cannot say, oh, fake debris. But anyway, Kyle Busch's car, it just looked strong. And during that process, there were a couple of more troubles. For example, like Clint Bowyer, he was just simply not fast. Clint Bowyer was actually a little bit more slower than what I expected to. Carl Edwards, he got a speeding penalty, and so he went down a lap. And I think Edwards would actually later run out of fuel on the second green flag pit stops. Yes. Yeah, so a couple more chasers in trouble, but then eventually, once the caution came out, Danny Hamlin and Carl Edwards took the wave around, and so I think that put them back on the lead lap. Pit stops, lap 124. Then we had a restart. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch. 1-2, Harvick on the inside, Kyle Busch leader on the outside. And the thing is, here we go, restart, lap 129. Harvick grabs the lead, and then 1 lap later, running inside the top 10, Austin Dillon's right front tire cuts down, I believe, or maybe it was the left front. Or maybe it was the left front. I don't know. He smacks the wall, and to me, this one was interesting because Austin Dillon was into the top 10, and he was one of the several drivers that came down pit road. So I don't know if he made contact with someone on pit road or on the restart, but just overall very strange for him to have a tire problem. Um, just simply one lap after the restart. It was strange. Anyway, I had to get a drink. Anyway, so the thing is, a couple drivers came down to pit road. This was great for Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards because the thing is, if you know the wave around, if you take the wave around, you cannot pit. And so to me, like almost every time you take the wave around, you kind of have to hope that an immediate caution comes out, so that way you can actually have fresh tires and fuel almost equal to like the leaders. And so it worked for them. A couple other takers, Truex, Keselowski, and Kenseth also took tires, but then anyway. Restart of 135. And pretty much this restart I think is kind of a little difficult to dissect, but the thing is, here's how I saw it. So overall, Harvick was the leader. He was in control of the restart, but one thing I noticed is that to me, I don't think Harvick got the restart that he wanted to get. And overall, I think it stacked up the inside just a little bit, but then at the same time, like it wasn't like Harvick like spun the tires. It wasn't like he spun the tires, but to me, I don't think it just simply was not like the best restart Harvick could have gotten. The thing is, at the same time, Kyle Busch also might have had trouble getting going. But anyway, so the thing is, both lanes were kind of a little bit slow. And I think as Johnson was all over the back of Harvick because I think Johnson expected Harvick to get going better. And then at the same time, Logano just ran into the back of Johnson. So it got Johnson sideways. Johnson was able to save it. Then exiting the tri-oval, Johnson was on the apron. And the thing is, Johnson had to get back onto the racing surface because the thing is, if he stayed on the apron, that could have been very, very disastrous for him and maybe several other drivers. And so the thing is, he comes back on the racetrack. But the thing is, Harvick does not really give him the room, which to me, I don't think Harvick did that on purpose. I just think that like Harvick didn't. I don't think he knew Johnson was there, or I don't think Harvick knew that Johnson was going to do what he did. The two of them make contact entering turn number one, and the thing is, what would happen is the thing is Johnson will be fine. Harvick, however, his left rear tire was smoking pretty badly, and the thing is, like Harvick's crew chief, I think told them to stay out. Try to like shake the car around a little bit, and maybe it'll go away. And to me, in the past, I do recall a couple times of drivers having some like tire rubs and able to hold on, like for example, in the 2013 Ford EcoBoost 400 at Homestead, the season finale of 2013. Johnson, who was actually the championship leader and would go on to win the championship that race, he actually had a tire rub, I think either on the left front or left rear. And the thing is, there was definitely a lot of smoke, but the thing is that went away. Harvick's, however, I think it was just simply too serious, and the thing is, I saw it coming. Caution number 3 on lap 138. Harvick running in I think the third position, going down into turn number 3. His tire goes flat, and he backs it into the wall. Heavy damage. He would go on to go behind the wall and thus get a poor finish. And Mitchell Harvick, he was not very happy, but I'll get into that in just a moment. So overall, like Jeff Burton called it a racing incident, and obviously, maybe things could have just simply like been different, but overall, like to me, I think I do have to agree with like Harvick, not Harvick, like Jeff Burton, because the thing is, like I feel like to me, like I just don't think that like it was Johnson's intention to do that, and to me, like I said, I don't think Harvick realized that Johnson was like there or knew Johnson was going to do that. So yeah, like I said, I agree with Jeff Burton. But anyway, next restart, and this would be a controversial restart. Restart on lap number 45. Kyle Busch leading, Jeff Gordon in second. Kyle Busch is on the outside, Jeff Gordon is on the inside. And the thing is, restart, and the thing is, Gordon grabs the lead, which to me surprised me a little bit. But to me, here's what happened, and here's how I saw it. So the thing is, like the thing is, like, there's the restart zone, and to me there are two lines, and to me I believe the rule is to me the leader controls the restart, and so the thing is, like, the leader can start speeding up, um, can start speeding up whatever point he or she can once they get inside that box. And so the thing is, like, what I saw is, to me, Kyle Busch, he got to the restart box, and so the thing is, like, and the thing is, Kyle Busch and Jeff Gordon, they were pretty much, like, equal. But then all of a sudden, like, the way I saw it is, to me, Kyle Busch spun the tires, and so the thing is, Kyle Busch couldn't really get going. Jeff Gordon pulled ahead. Now the thing is, Jeff Gordon, he did get to the start finish line before Kyle Busch did, but like I said, I think Kyle Busch spun the tires, and so the thing is, they went under review. Jeff Gordon would not be penalized, which to me I think was the fair call. I'm sure there are many fans out there. I haven't really seen a whole lot of like fan reactions on social media, just simply because I knew this race was a controversial race, and to me, I don't want to look into negativity. Kind of like it hurts my brain. But to me, I'm sure that there were some fans. I'm sure there were many fans that were not happy about that. I just had this feeling, and overall, like, I think the thing about like the restart controversies, though, is, to me, like, I don't think, like, I don't know if NASCAR, like, expected this or not back in 2009 when they first implemented the double file restarts. But to me, like, this is kind of what unfortunately happens with when you have double file restarts overall, because when you have single file restarts, it does not really matter. It does not really matter. Like, I don't think you're really gonna have like this whole, like, leader controls the restart or start. I just think like that's just, like, my opinion. But and the thing is, even though I like double file restarts, because thing is, like, it encourages for more side-by-side racing, more passing, and that simply creates better racing. Obviously, double file restarts, they do have their drawbacks, unfortunately. But like I said, I think NASCAR made the best call they can. But anyway, before the restart, there were a couple drivers that came up pit road, and one of those was Johnson. I think a couple of other drivers like Dale Earnhardt Jr. And overall, it seemed like after those adjustments, what started out being sort of like Kyle Busch, a couple of Hendrick cars, and Schuster Haas cars, that would eventually over the course of the race, that would eventually change over into, once again, the JGR show. But anyway, we would once again have an hour-long green flag run. We would have some green flag pit stops. Larson led a lap, Carl Edwards led a lap, and he would actually continue to lead. And the thing is, Carl Edwards and Dan Hamlin, they needed a caution, and thankfully they got that caution on lap 191 for debris in turn number 4. And the thing is, they did show a piece of metal, I believe. And so the thing is, like, that caution would really help them a lot, because the thing is, why was that? Well, the thing is, there was only 7 cars on the lead lap at that point, and so the thing is, many cars were trapped the lap down, and so the thing is, with them pitting, they would not have to pit under the green flag and pull the lap down, and the thing is, B, they would still keep their track position. They came up pit road. Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch stayed out. Edwards, Hamlin, and Keselowski took 4 tires. Gordon and Logano took 2 tires. And Gordon and Logano, a couple laps ago, they actually had made their green flag pit stop. And so the thing is, several drivers took the way around, and by the time we got back racing, there was about, I want to say, 15 or 6, maybe 15 or 20 cars on the lead lap. But the thing is, also under the rule of the way around, you have to restart behind all the cars that did not take the way around. So the thing is, drivers like Johnson, Kenseth actually started more towards the tail end of the line than behind like Truex, Logano, and Gordon. And so the thing is, very quickly, Kyle Busch took off. The thing is, Kurt Busch was there. Kyle Busch were the leader. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought that wasn't true. Edwards and Hamlin, strangely not strong. it surprised me a little bit, but with me not so much. But the thing is, I thought with fresher tires, like Hamlin and Edwards was actually going to get by the Busch brothers. But the thing is, that wasn't the case. Jeff Gordon, I think like Jeff Gordon, his car was more of a long run car than a short run car, which to me I kind of feel like has been Jeff Gordon for as long as I have been watching NASCAR. Maybe this is not true. But to me, I think like that's kind of like the thing about Jeff Gordon. Like, after maybe several laps, his car's going. And so the thing is, Jeff Gordon, he would be able to get up into third by Edwards. And the thing is, we had another round of green flag pit stops. And the thing is, after that green flag pit stops, Kurt Busch was still the leader. And the thing is, before the last caution came out, he had like a 4-second lead over Jeff Gordon. And so to me, it looked like Kurt Busch had this in the bag. And then eventually caution number 5 for debris in turns 1, 2. And the thing is, they showed Matt Zabano who had a scraped up right side, so chances are he hit the wall. And eventually, this created for some interesting strategy. Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, and Denny Hamlin stay out. Everyone else on the lead lap comes down per road. So this includes drivers like Edwards, Truex, etc. And the thing is, before the restart, drivers like Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin were actually questioning their decision to stay out. But the thing is, I think Denny Hamlin's crew chief Dave Rogers said no, clean air is important. And so overall, it was interesting. I think to me, while out of these three, it did work for one driver. I think to me, if more drivers would have stayed out at the time, I think they would have been feeling more comfortable. But anyway, the way they would restart the top 10: Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Logano, Edwards, Johnson, Larson, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Everyone except Martin Truex Jr. took 4 tires. Truex took 2 tires. And so overall, here we go. Restart. Lap 262. And to me, I think what happened on this restart was that Hamlin, who I think had Kyle Busch behind him, pushed Gordon out to the lead, or Kurt Busch was struggling once again. Gordon got out into the lead. But the thing is, Hamlin went to the inside, heading into turn number 1 and 2. And the thing is, all of a sudden, Gordon's car. I don't know if Gordon was just simply being super aggressive, trying to hold on to his position or what. But to me, all of a sudden, Gordon, he just started dropping positions like a rock more than what I expected to. And the thing is, the car, the car was loose, and the back end was getting out from under him several times, entering turns 1 and 2. So maybe something was wrong with the car or what. But anyway, it really screwed Gordon out of what really was Gordon's best race, maybe since Talladega. And actually, Jeff Gordon led 40 laps, which I believe is the second or third most of the day among all the drivers. So yeah, Gordon had a great. So overall, Gordon had a great day. And the thing is, obviously, had the last caution come out, I think Gordon would have actually received his best finish of the season. So overall, that was it made me sad. It made me sad to see that happen. To see that happen to Jeff Gordon. But to me, I think if Jeff Gordon could show the same thing that he showed at Chicagoland into New Hampshire Dover, he should be able to make the next round. But anyway, back to the race. So the thing is, Hamlin got the lead, and the thing is, here comes Carl Edwards with fresher tires, trying to reel in Hamlin. But to me, it was just simply not enough. And like Dave Rogers said, clean air is important, and it was. Once Hamlin got the lead, and after a while, he was gone. And the thing is, overall, it did not come without a fight. Carl Edwards, he was trying to catch Hamlin, but just could not do it. And to me, I think had Kurt Edwards was Edwards spent most of that last green flag run trying to get by Kurt Busch. If Kurt Busch was not there, maybe we would be talking about Carl Edwards as our winner, but it simply did not happen. Denny Hamlin wins at Chicagoland. His first win at Chicagoland, I believe, out of NASCAR's top 3 series, and his second win of the season. His first coming all the way back at Martinsville, and now he clinches his spot into the next round in the chase. And so overall, and and they did talk about this a little bit, but obviously this win comes less than 2 weeks after he tore his ACL, and so overall, like I said last week after Richmond when Hamlin got like a top 5, I believe, saying like, you know, I don't think his injury isn't going to slow him down. This race confirmed that Hamlin's not going to slow down. And the thing is, even though like before this race Hamlin only had 1 win, as opposed to his other teammates where they had multiple wins, Hamlin is not going to be the weak link. And the thing is, I think Hamlin could be a surprise. And to me, I think like if Hamlin, I think that if any of the, I think that to me, it does not matter whether it's Hamlin, Edwards, Busch, or Kenza. But to me, I think like if JGR, if they can continue to like have these types of performances for the rest of the season. For the rest of the season, even though they're not going to be champions under 36 races, I think to me they will still be worthy championships. I think they'll still be pretty worthy champions in my book, at least. But anyway, so that was Chicagoland, and now we move on to New Hampshire. The thing is, here are the point standings. So the thing is, Kevin Harvick really. Oh wait a second, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. And the thing is, entering the chase, they said tempers were going to rise. The thing is, we did have some tempers. Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson. Harvick was not happy with Johnson at all. And the thing is, after showing tape-delayed interviews, it actually showed, I don't know if it was live or earlier, Harvick got out of his motor coach, and to me, I don't know if Harvick invited Johnson or if Harvick or Johnson went over to Harvick to apologize to him or what. The thing is, once Harvick got out of his motor coach, he actually punched Johnson in the chest. And the thing is, there was some guy in a white T-shirt. I don't know who that guy is. He catch Harvick back, and then his wife Delana there also showed up to keep Harvick from fighting Jimmy Johnson. And overall, like obviously I think when it comes to Kevin Harvick, obviously Harvick, I think that he definitely does play rough. And the thing is, Jimmy Johnson, he's not really the type of driver you think of when it comes to drivers that get into fights. Johnson has been in some heated discussions before. Like for example, like last season, Ryan Newman in the Michigan August race, or in the year before that, Biffle in the fall Martinsville race. But the thing is, normally Johnson's not really like used to being in these types of confrontations. And to me, this was, I think, the first time, maybe ever, in his career, I think things got physical. Now, the thing is, Johnson's not the type of driver who I think is going to fight back. Because the thing is, like, Johnson like took the punch, and the thing is like it didn't seem like that really highly affected him that much at all. But anyway, so overall, I guess like NASCAR, what NASCAR is going to do they're going to be talking about this rivalry, and overall, if we're going to call it a rivalry, which I guess you can, not exactly the rivalry I expected between, but it's not really the rivalry. Like if you would have asked me like Harvick would all of a sudden like play rough, and all of a sudden like get into a fight from the drivers, I would not have thought that they could be angry against Jimmy Johnson. And overall, is this rivalry going to continue into Richmond? I doubt it, because the thing is normally in NASCAR, and it's been like this for years, or maybe ever since the beginning of NASCAR. But the thing is, like, rivalries do not continue into the next week most of the time. Now, I think is it would not shock me if at some point in New Hampshire, if Harvick gets to the back of Johnson, he might just remind him like, "Hey, I'm here." But to me, I don't think we're going to see like Harvick all of a sudden get into the back of him. And overall, like, I think like it might also maybe be like a distraction between the organization, because the thing is, like, Stewart-Haas Racing they share an alliance with Hendrick Motorsports, and they use Hendrick engines and other Hendrick equipment. So overall, very interesting. But the thing is, this puts Harvick in a really bad hole. And the thing is, Harvick, he's 22 points behind Jeff Gordon, the last driver that would make it into the next round if the next round started next week. And so the thing is, he's 22 points behind them. The other three drivers, Menard, Boyer, and McMurray, which to me, before the chase started, I predicted that Menard and Boyer would be eliminated. So to me, it does not surprise me after there anyway. Harvick said in his interview that he needs to win, and obviously Harvick can win. You know, he's had a winning car almost every single race this season. But to me, like, I think that for Harvick, like, I don't know if he's currently the type of driver that can maybe come back from mistakes in the form of what Hamlin did or Edwards did, like today, where they came back from being one lap down and actually finished 1-2. I think Harvick's going to need to drive a perfect race, and obviously Harvick has been in this type of situation before. Last season, in the second to last round, the eliminator round, entering Phoenix, Harvick needed to win Phoenix, and the thing is, he did that. And obviously, he would go on to win at Homestead and be the champion. But to me, New Hampshire, Harvick did have a good run at New Hampshire, and the thing is, even if Harvick wins, a second, like a top 5 finish is going to help. And if Harvick can get a top 5 finish at Dover, which he also had a good car back in May, he should also be good. But overall things are going to get even more interesting. In the last round, there really was not really any, like, in my opinion, like, surprise or any, like, serious threat of drivers getting eliminated. Well, the thing is, it's definitely not like this season with Harvick being now 16th. Now, the thing is, let's say if there was not a chase, guess what? Harvick is still not the points leader. Logano is still the points leader. And the thing is, Logano is currently fifth in the point standings, and actually, if you look at the top 4 in the chase grid, it's Kenseth, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and Edwards. And actually, I think that this is worth pointing out. Ryan Newman finished 4th. I don't know if they talked about it or not. But the thing is, once again, just like last season, Ryan Newman, once the chase starts, they're all of a sudden they're not winning. They're not winning, and they're not drivers that are up front leading like several laps. But to me, once again, Ryan Newman once again being very consistent. So overall, heading next week to New Hampshire, the July race at New Hampshire, the July race at New Hampshire, I gotta say, was sort of pretty bad in my opinion. But who knows? I think I remember, like, last season's race being pretty good, and to me, obviously, like, just like I saw last season in the chase thing, the action did rev up a lot, but we are just going to have to see. But and the thing is, like, who's going to be strong at New Hampshire? Well, to me, back in July, Kyle Busch won that race. Keselowski was also strong. So to me, watch out for those two drivers. Is there going to be any surprise? Who knows? And who knows? There might be a surprise. The last 11 races in New Hampshire, 11 different winners. I think that streak will probably come to an end, though, in my opinion, because the thing is, like, this season, really, ever since Kyle Busch has won its Noma, it's been repeat winner after repeat winner. And so overall, I think that streak of 11 different winners in 11 races, I think it's going to come to an end next week. But to me, if there is going to be any sort of surprise, it would not surprise me if someone like if someone like Martrix Jr. who had a great day today, just unfortunately did not get the finish to prove it. He could get a win. And to me, if we're talking about, like, non-chasers, Larson and Austin Dillon, I think to me, they could be. Am I hearing Larson? If we're gonna have a non-chaser win a chase race this season, Larson and Austin Dillon are at the top of the list. So to me, those two could spoil the party if they have a good race and maybe have some luck on their side. But anyway, so that is pretty much all I really have to say, there was some information that I believe I did um, uh, not include in the previous portion, but to me, I think I will talk about it next week. If you heard anything, I just clicked on something and it made that noise. But anyway, so that's really all I have to say about this race. And overall, overall, if you love the chase or if you hate the chase, thing oh well, things could get very interesting and maybe strange heading off to New Hampshire. Uh, and the thing is, until then, this is Super Eevee Master. Thank you for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye.